Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining the Greatness Engineering Show today. I'm Mireille, your host, and today we are going to Europe. We're having three inspiring women with us. They are part of the GimsGiy. They're going to explain to you what GimsGiy is all about. It's a TV, a TV, a stream live TV, and they're going to explain to you how all of this started. And there's really an interesting story behind all of this. So I hope you're gonna be inspired today by what you're gonna listen to, and I really hope that you're gonna have the opportunity to interact with my guest today. So let's get the show started. Okay, so we are back. So my guests are here. So I have with me Ida, Sandra, and Maristka will join us later today. Through the show. She's been having some technical problem right now, but she's going to be with us pretty soon. So welcome, Ida and Sandra. It's a real pleasure to have you because I actually got the opportunity to talk to you, Ida, several weeks ago, and I fall in love with the project and became an ambassador of GimsGiy. So that's why I really want people to understand what it's all about today. So I don't know who is here. Please let us know where you're watching from and say hello to our guest. So I just want to to start with, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself and to let us know what you're up to right now and how did you come up to this point where you are in your life and in the different projects that you're working for. So I'm going to start with Ida. Go ahead, let us know who you are and what inspired you to do what you do right now.
Okay, thank you, Mireille. I want to thank you, of course, for inviting us. And yeah, it is an incredible story. I am Ida Rinsampessy. I live near Amsterdam. And I'm 58 years old, I have to think. Age is not important, huh? But it is 58 years old. And I am originally from the Moluccan. My parents are both Moluccan. So in the 50s, they came to the Netherlands. Mm-hmm. My father was a military in order for the Dutch military, and they fought in the Indonesian War. And they came here in the Netherlands in 52. And it's a little bit, you can compare it with refugees. We are not refugees because my father was on duty in the Dutch government, the Dutch law. But we are still here. It was for six months only. But I'm 58 and I was born in the Netherlands.
Oh, okay.
So in a kind of refugee camp. Mm-hmm. So I'm inspired with different cultures. I live in different cultures. I live with two cultures, the Dutch culture and the Moluccan culture. And when I went to school at 6 years old, I didn't even speak Dutch because I only lived in the camp. Mm-hmm. So when I went to school, I thought, what are they talking about? I don't understand a thing of the Dutch culture. Mm-hmm. So when I, after a couple of years, understood the Dutch language, I didn't even understand the culture. I only understand the language. Mm-hmm. So now I know if a couple of years later, if we think about the refugees at this moment, they have the same problem. And what I didn't know, what I didn't understand is why can we solve the problem of the refugees if they find a new place in another country? Because we are human beings, we're all the same, but there are different cultures. You know that. You have got a different culture. Sandra, my partner, is from Belgium. Is a different country. Even if we speak the same language, we have a different culture. But we cannot solve this in the world. Look at Greece. Look at Italy. We cannot solve it. And I think that's strange because human beings are able to go to the moon. But we cannot solve this.
And that's the thing.
This is my, let's see, it's my passion. Because I know that you can be welcome in a country, but it doesn't mean that you feel welcome. Being welcome and feeling welcome is totally different. So then I also have another color. I'm not white. So if you have a different language, what you speak, and you live in another country, and you also are not white, in a white culture, it's 1-0 behind. It is. And I'm lucky because I'm very good in sport. I had a sport career. I was 12 years a member of a national team. And I was a member of the European Championships, World Championships. I was
and in which sport did you compete?
Karate.
Karate.
I'm a karate champion. Yeah. So the karate helped me. My career helped me to stand up. So I was seen as a sportler because I was also Spanish champion, Italian champion, Russian champion, but it doesn't matter. You still have another color, other skin. So you have to fight more for the things what you want. And it's the same thing for you. It's the same thing for my partner, Maritska Noorden. She will tell her story later, I hope, if she's coming in. But we don't have the same... we have the same rights, but we don't get it. We don't receive it. And that's GimsGiy. So after my sport career, I was a nurse for many years in a hospital. And then I became ill in 1999. I had to learn everything again. It really was, I was going down. So I had to learn to walk again, to eat without spoiling. Everything I had to learn again. So you can understand if you have a high level as a sport person on international level, and you have to learn everything again, because even if I had to go to the toilet, somebody had to help me. That's a challenge, I tell you. But I also can tell you there's always a light behind the tunnel. If you're walking in the tunnel, it's my experience. And I couldn't find a job anymore. In 2004, the doctor told me in Amsterdam, we cannot help you anymore. And I thought, he's crazy. What's he talking about? So if you want to do something in your life, like everybody else wants to have a meaningful life, me too. Nobody is going to have a life and say, yeah, I want to be a nobody. I don't know those people. You want to be something. So I thought, if nobody else is giving me a job, then I'm going to start myself as an entrepreneur. So I did. And I did a lot of things. I have a sports school with 500 students on high level, also international. I had a multicultural center with different cultures in one center, with dancing, music, whatever, what you can think about. 11 different cultures in a school. So, and then I dreamt about GimsGiy. It was a dream. and it was 1.5 years ago. The name GimsGiy is also came to me in a dream, because it means the God in me sees the God in you.
So God in me sees the God in you.
Yeah. So if you don't believe in God, I want to talk with you, but at least you can also say the greatness in me sees the greatness in you, because I believe the greatness is within you, in everybody. The greatness was in me when the doctor told me, it's over, we cannot help you anymore. Here are your medicines, and try to do something to with your life, but accept that you're ill. At that time, I used 9 medicines. At this moment, I use only 1.
Wow.
I'm not going to the doctor anymore, and I'm an entrepreneur. At this moment, with GimsGiy, with Sandra, with Maritska, we are in 15 countries. So tell me what? The power is within you, within me, in Sandra, in whatever. I don't know who's here on the line, but in everybody, it's within you. So what we did is we started to look what is going on in the linear TV. In the Netherlands, you only see 1 or 2 black people. And you always see the same persons, white and famous. So I thought, what's happening here? I know a lot of talented people with color. So for me, it's a problem, because it's not something you cannot see the society, how it is at this moment on the linear television. So what we did is, okay, Maritska and me, we put our money together and we said, doesn't matter, we will do it. Then we will make our TV ourselves. So we did. At Maristka, didn't know anything about social media or whatever, but it doesn't matter, because it doesn't mean that you cannot make this. The thing is that you don't have to find the best people to do this. You have to find the right people to do this. And she is the right one, I tell you. So after Maritska, we found Sandra. And actually, she's an expert in media, only in the Belgium TV. But hey, I don't mind. Put the brains together. That's it. So now we've got a TV channel, and we are finding people. We are looking for people who wants to stand up, who wants to have a meaningful life, because everybody wants something. You just have to connect with us and tell us, hey, I'm good at this, or my passion is this, or my passion is that. Can you help me out? And I know for sure that we can bring you the podium, what you want, what you need. Because everybody needs a little bit recognition. Everybody wants to be seen. That's important. Doesn't matter if you're sitting in Africa, in Suriname, or whatever. Everybody is unique. And to your uniqueness, you have to spread the word. You use your voice. It's smart to use your brains, but it is wise to use your heart. And that's GimsGiy.
Okay, so we gotta come back to you. Just want to give Sandra also the opportunity to introduce herself, but there are a couple of points that you mentioned here, and I've actually tried to summarize them here. So one thing that you said is that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So basically, you calling, and I hope our audience is taking notes, is that whatever challenge that you're faced with, please don't give up, because at the end of the day, you're gonna get somewhere where it's gonna be better. And that's a very strong statement and advice that Ida actually put together. I mean, you've listened to her story. She's actually never given up, at any point. And here she is offering to the world this, fantastic gems that is, GimsGiy. So let's go to Sandra. Sandra, welcome. And just want to understand, tell our listeners who you are and how you actually get to come to and join, the GimsGiy team, and why.
I do enjoy the team. That's for sure. And Ida, I'm sure no one is going to come and talk to you if they don't believe in God. As you just mentioned, you're a karate champion. I don't think they will. So, so who am I? My name is Sandra de Miliano. And as Ida also said, I used to work for Belgian television, for television news. And my big frustration working for Belgian television news was two things. First of all, when you do television news, most of the time what you do is bad news. So I did a lot of stories in war zones, also in Africa, also in South America. I did also Kosovo in Europe. A lot of volcanoes burst out, and so you go to places where there are always where there's a lot of suffering, a lot of problems. So, and after a while, I'd seen enough of that. So that's one thing. And another thing, later on, when I was an editor-in-chief, I was a bit frustrated because when you are working for a television news, there are always people calling you with amazing stories, with interesting stories, also with inspiring and positive stories. But there's just no space. There's just no space for that in a television news, as you have only 20 to 30, 35 minutes. And so that's why I was very happy once that YouTube was invented, because there was a medium where it became possible just from a certain moment in time where the internet was invented, that it was possible to bring other people's stories with Vimeo, with other platforms, with social media. And then I changed careers totally. So I stopped working for television, for traditional TV, and I started working actually as a communication coach, as a media trainer, helping people to then tell their story. But because what I noticed was when I interviewed people, sometimes they didn't realize they had that an inspiring, interesting story. They didn't know. They didn't realize that. And it's just by asking the right questions that people get to know, I do have something interesting to say. I do am somebody with a story, and I am worth it to be heard and to be seen. So that's what I've been doing with a lot of fulfillment, with a lot of pleasure for years, is finding those people with a story and help them then to bring out and share that story. So I did that for businesses and also for experts who wanted to tell this and share this story and these experiences. So that's why years ago already, and Ida knows that, I had the idea of setting up my own platform with inspiring stories of people. But the thing is, I was way too early. People were not ready at that moment to be on TV, to talk into the camera. That was really, really scary for a lot of people. And still today, for a lot of people, it is quite a threshold to be in front of the camera. So it's a pity, but that idea was at that time not that successful. But then when I heard, I was on a conference and I heard about Ida and I heard about the concept of GimsGiy, and I thought, hey, that's what I wanted to do years ago. So it's very funny how that went, because I immediately, when I came home, I wrote a mail to Ida, and I think in 1 hour she responded to me. We really quick. She can be quick. So and the next day or so we had a Skype meeting, and we immediately felt, okay, we have to work together and bring our forces together and make GimsGiy what it can be, actually. So that's why I joined the GimsGiy team, and since the 1st of April, actually, it's not a joke, but
It's not a joke.
No, it is not a joke.
Okay,
it's
that's
not
good.
a joke.
She's still here, so it's not a joke.
Well, I'm still there. And looking forward to all the amazing things that we can do, because the world is this big, and there are so many amazing stories. So I'm really looking forward to share them with our audience.
Yeah, and that's what all this show is all about, is really bring those news that we don't have somewhere else and give the voice to the people who are actually making the news. And that's really what, I liked with this project, is that, this idea of giving a voice to people who actually don't have a platform and who can come and be themselves, using GimsGiy. So just for the listeners and for the audience, what is GimsGiy in a way? I mean, what's the content that you have, and how do someone get involved or actually use the product?
Well, I can answer that, of course. We've got several things, departments. Let's say we have movies and docus and documentaries, and we were planned to do to make our own content, our own movies. So travel around the world with stories, also in the Netherlands, in Europe, but also to you in Australia. Where we can travel, we want to see people, to meet people with inspiring stories. But of course, also in Europe, as you know, in the whole world, we have the coronavirus. So we cannot travel anymore. Even if Sandra, she's living in Belgium, we are not able to travel because, and we only live for 2 hours from each other. So we had to change our concept a little bit because of the corona. And some people said to me, oh, you're crazy. But you know what? If people call you crazy, don't worry. At least you're not stupid.
That's good.
So what we did is we made our own, how do you call that? Webinars and live streams. We are busy with that. Of course, you're not going to meet me with that, because we've got an expert, and that's she. So if you want to learn how you are going online on a professional manner, you need a course. Everybody has a phone, but it doesn't mean that on a professional way you can make a movie. So there's a difference. So we have people who are not used to use a phone or a camera, and we have business people who are really think, well, I want to go higher, a higher level. That's two different things. And as soon as we can travel, we will go to the studios. We have gotten our own studios, what we can use. And of course, we will make our own content. But at that time, till that time that we cannot do that, we will go with connecting people. Who has a nice story, an incredible story? Because I believe, especially for people who with a color, we need role models. That's what we need. Because if I don't speak about my career, and I can tell you, everybody can be a champion. Doesn't matter. Maybe not karate. It's not for everybody. But at least you can be another champion in your business, with painting, with building houses, whatever. Gardening. But think about something. Those stories we need, because if we put it online, other people who are thinking, I want to have a better life, I want to have my own story online, then you just have to do one thing. call us, mail us, because you can find us www.GimsGiy.tv. You cannot miss it. There is only one GimsGiy. That's we. That's us.
True, and maybe people might be a little scared of telling their story in front of the camera because they don't know how to do it or how to look professional. But that's why we are there, you know, and we have packs where we can coach them and help them to get the best out of their mobile phone and to look as professional as possible with those mobiles and with the means that people have. So even from a distance, we do coach people to make the best production they can to send in, so we can share it with GimsGiy.
And we don't have limits, huh? We don't look at color, we don't look at race, we don't look at religion. We are a positive channel. So what we want is positive news. And of course, the world is not only positive. You can see it. But there's already a lot of, there are a lot of programs where you can see the negative news already. So let it be there. Let it be there. And the power of GimsGiy is one thing. If you post on Facebook, if you are posting on YouTube, it's not yours anymore. It's not. The data is from Facebook, from Google, from YouTube. And it's The thing is, if you are posting your company or yourself at GimsGiy and you want to quit, we will say, okay, I'm sorry that we cannot keep you in our company, in our channel, but the data is yours. You will get it. Yay!
So we have Maristka here. She's finally, been able to come in. I just gonna look at the chat box here just to see what are the comments. We have Maria from Australia. She lives in Adelaide. So she's saying very inspiring. We have William. William is in Ghana, so that's great. And we also have another gentleman who is in Gabon. So you are everywhere, and I think your story is really resonating with a lot of them. So that's really good. Now that we have Maristka here, Maristka, how are you?
I'm fine.
Welcome to the Greatness Engineering Hour show.
I had some stress, but I'm finally there.
Okay, all right. So since you're here, just quickly, can you please introduce yourself and let us know who you are and what you're up to right now, and then we will continue our discussion with your colleagues.
Thank you, Mireille, first for your invitation. I will introduce myself. I'm Maritska, Noorden. I'm 52 years old. Before I have 2 children, a girl, Chantal, and a son, Mitchell. Mitchell, he is 26 years old, Chantal 28. And Mitchell is also working in our company. He's the head of the IT and the online marketing. Well, I'm born in the south of Korea. My name that I got from my biologic mother is Jung Cheaok. My father, he was in the military. He went there in the 60s, and he stayed in Uijeongbuui. My mother, she died when I was 1.5 years old. My biological parents of my biological family, they didn't accept me. So they sent me to an orphan's home. When I was 3 years old, I was adopted by Dutch parents. I lived in a small village, and I was the only colored girl in the small village in the south of the Netherlands. So I was bullied many times of the white children, and that had a huge impact of me. But not only the children, also the grown-ups, because I never forget. Someone told me, "You have to be nice. You have to be kind. You have to obey, because if you don't going to do that, then they're going to sell you again because you're adopted. They bought you." Well, that had such a huge impact. During my whole life, when I was growing up, I had some unhealthy relationships. Later on, I was divorced, and I felt always that I wasn't good enough. My parents, they were great. They were really, I couldn't get better parents, adoption parents. They gave me this name, Maritska Noorden. But I always felt an emptiness inside. And when I was married, I decided to divorce. I never forget that I had a very strong something inside of me, and I had to explore that. My adoption father, he told me, "You're so strong, you really don't know it. But find your passion, combine it, and show it to the world, and help the people, because that's what you really wanted to do." And I thought, well, it's a great idea, but how am I going to do that? Well, about 10 months ago, I met Ida, and she told me about GimsGiy. And the first thing I had was, wow, this is it. This is the moment. This is the thing that I can show the world, that I can help the world, because I didn't know it. And Ida, she is GimsGiy. She is the brain of GimsGiy. She said to me, "Just take my hands and we're going to jump and we're going to make it such a great thing. We're going to make it just like Ubuntu." Ubuntu is a way of life.
Yeah, in South Africa. Yeah.
And I said, well, that's such a great idea. So I took her hands, and during that I was divorced, I had nothing. I left everything behind. I had to start all over again from scratch. I worked very hard. I had 3 jobs. I started a small business, a home business, my own. But every penny I earned, I saved. I didn't spoil anything. Now was the time when I met Ida. I know this is the time to put my money inside, to put Ida's money inside, to take our hands and to make it happen. And Ida, she said to me, "Well, just listen. It's gonna be it's not gonna be easy, because you have to confirm with yourself and everything. And GimsGiy will make a better version of you. Will put it out and make you a whole person." I can't say it, but we are going to make a documentary, and there will show everything what GimsGiy is and what GimsGiy means. Because I'm the founder, but I also have to make the journey. I have to go back to my roots, and I told you my name, my Korean name. I used to laugh about it, because they told me it's meaning white lotus, and I told it Ida. But Ida, she looked at me in the eyes and said, "No, it's a great metaphor, because you are just like a lotus." I had a rough time. I had a hard life, but a lotus is growing from out the mud, and then it's blossoming and it's showing the beautiness and the power. And I was thinking, yes, you're right. So I'm going to make a documentary. It will be so emotional. It will be a roller coaster, because it will be with laugh, it will be with tear. And I'm not afraid to show it, because that's real life, and that's GimsGiy.
And that's really what I like about it is it's so real because you go back to people's, deep feeling, deep emotions, and you bring it to the outside to share. And it's inspiring and it's actually encouraging people because there are a lot of people in the same situation, but they don't see the light, like what Ida was saying, and that you sharing this story is actually bringing, giving them the strength to do that. And they're going to come out and liberate themselves because when you can't actually speak and then with a full voice, you're like a prisoner. So
Yeah.
it's really freedom at the end of the day. And that's really wonderful to hear that.
I know I have
Yes,
such
Maristka, yeah.
strong people behind me. Just Ida. When I struggle or something, she looked at me and I know, okay, okay, I know enough. She's got so much power and she empowers everyone. And now, together with you, we can do it. And I want to thank you, Mireille, for the opportunity to show to the world. Also, Ida, to be my friend and my business partner. Yes, so you again, you also. Thank you.
And it's wonderful. So let's just take a small break just to give people the opportunity to same situation, but to give people the opportunity to digest all of this because it's a lot, and we'll come back when and continue the show. So we are back, and thank you, ladies, for those inspiring stories. And the next thing that I want to ask you now that you've basically been able to reconnect with yourself and come out and really open this platform to the world. So what are you expecting from that? Who wants to start?
What I expect is that it is going to grow enormous. It's going worldwide. What I expect is that everybody, and it doesn't matter where you live, where you are coming from, what your story is, that everybody is embracing GimsGiy. Because it's not, and I'm happy that my business partner and co-founder Maritska is so crazy about me, but it's not about me. I will find my way anyhow. Doesn't matter. It's not about games. It's not about me. It's about the platform, because the idea came from above. That is what I believe. I believe in God. And it's time to stand up for everybody where you live in the world. Raise your standards. That is what I expect, because there's no reason more to hide, because the platform is there. It's ours. We paid for it. We don't ask money. Just use it. Raise your standards. Use it.
And I think that if you start telling your story in front of the camera, not only it is interesting for other people to see and to inspire other people, but also for yourself. Because there's no better way to self-develop than to hear yourself say things and see yourself do things and say things and find out, oh, is this me? I know a lot of people that are very surprised and even amazed and proud of themselves when they see themselves in front of the camera on video and say, wow, is this me? Because very often people have another picture of themselves in their mind, and they don't see themselves as big or as important or so wow. But then when you are there and you are being interviewed, or somebody's filming you in a nice professional environment, and there is a makeup artist who makes sure that you look very pretty and you look nice, yeah, then you can see who you really are. Because that's not the exception. That is who you really are. That's the best of you, the best that you can be. And that's what I also want to show to people. That, look, this is the person that you are, and this is who you can be if you choose to be. Yeah. So for me, giving camera training is very much about self-knowledge, self-development, personal growth as well.
And I really, I like this perspective, because most of the time what we do, we look at ourselves, based on other people, through the eyes of other people, and we don't take the opportunity to sit down and they look at us, the reflection of what we are, and understand what are the strengths that we have, and how we can actually use those strengths to become the best that we can be. And it's good that, we have, this type of platform coming in and helping, opening the door to people to get this opportunity, like you said, Sandra, to really look at who they are and understand that they can be, they can create something magnificent, because they are beautiful inside and out. So that's really, really good.
Yeah, and that's exactly what GimsGiy is about, to bring the greatness in people out, because I can see it in people when I have somebody in front of me. I can see the potential, I can see the greatness, but what I want is that people see it in themselves as well.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Exactly. And what about you, Maristka? What are your expectations? I know you've explained a little bit that, it was more about reconciling yourself with your past, but also being a role model at the same time. But is there something more than that you expect from, the work that you're doing in GimsGiy?
Well, I expect that we're going to look to the other people in another way, because I knew from my past that people are looking, and within 3 seconds they say, oh, you are that kind of person, or you can't do anything or something. And you have to look behind the masquerade, because I know now, while I'm working with GimsGiy, if you're looking and you're not looking deep into someone's soul, you're gonna pass so many people, so many beautiful people who's waiting to blossom, to just like the lotus. They are in the mud and they really are growing, but they need the help to blossom, and they need some hands on tools to do that. And I just wanted with GimsGiy to be the tool, because everybody is such a unique kind of person, and everybody has something such beautiful inside. I didn't know how to make it to the open, or to show it to the world, but now I know. And also know it's not a shame to ask, if you can't do it, to ask for help.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about is, yet, yes, you have to go inside and look
Yeah.
for your strength, but you can't actually make an impact alone. You need, it's a collective action. You need the help of other people because you don't have everything, and you need at some point assistance to go to the next step. And that's very beautiful. So that's really, I don't know what the audience is thinking. Let me bring some of the comments here. Yeah, we have Ruth. Ruth is watching from Suriname. You ladies are doing great. That's fantastic. Maria again from Adelaide in
Yeah.
South Australia. Like Ida says, we need more role models, and that's important. And I would say, especially as women, we need a lot of role models. We tend to keep our stories to ourselves. It's time to bring it out. You now have the platform. I don't know how many people are listening, but we now have the platform. Please do an effort. And we have, okay, so that's directed to me. So that's Rhonda. Rhonda is I'm a co-host in Rhonda show on Saturday.
Okay.
She's in the US, and great to have you here, Rhonda. That's fantastic. So yeah, so I mean, we almost at the end of this show. It went so fast, and I always, there's one question that I love to ask my guest is, what is the legacy that you want to leave? What is the legacy that you want to leave? Irrespective of what you do in GimsGiy, but your big why and your big mission. Um, what's where are you going? And what's your big why?
Shall I start?
Yes, you can start, Ida. Go ahead.
Well, I've got one mission, only one, but it's a big one. In the world, we have two different people. People who are really fond of science. They think science is everything. And people who are spiritual, but they are flying somewhere, somewhere, not with the feet on the ground. I believe that God made us with two part of brains, the left side and the right side. And a lot of people are using only the right side. And a lot of people are using only the left side. I believe that you receive not by coincidence that are two parts. So use two of them. So the science is very important. It's very important that we have science. But it's also very important that we use our intuition. That's your spiritual side. If I had a small part that I bring people with the knowledge that you use both brain sides, then I did my job. What? Why are you laughing? That's it.
It's a great
Fantastic.
one. It's a great one.
So it's a great one. So Sandra, I want to hear your side of the story, and
Well,
what legacy do you want to leave? And,
I have a great one too.
Of course.
And an ambitious one. Because yeah, I'm not sure how it's like in the rest of the world, but I guess it's quite similar. But in Europe, school system is outdated. It is not what it should be today, as we are having more and more children that are very talented, that are very conscious, that very often know more than adults. That's what I see. And then they have to go to schools where they have to sit and listen to the teacher and shut up. So, and learn things by heart and lose all their creativity, because that's what our school system is based upon.
Yeah.
So I have a huge problem with that. So my legacy is to change that. So that is completely different from what GimsGiy is about, in a way, but not entirely. As we have not told this yet, there is the future plan also to have a GimsGiy for kids.
Yeah.
Yes. where we gonna counter the school system today, and where we are going to show alternatives and show what we can teach children, how they are going to reinforce the talents that they have, reinforce creativity, reinforce their natural ability to find solutions for every problem. Because that's what we have forgotten as adults, to look at the problem. To look at the solution, we focus on the problem, and we are stuck. So GimsGiy is about finding solutions, finding that light on every tunnel. And that goes for adults, but it's even easier if you start with that at a young age. So for me, if you ask my legacy, it's about children and giving them a new system so they can develop themselves. And of course, GimsGiy kids can be part of that.
Awesome, partner. Awesome.
And you're right. We have to start working with the new generation, because that's, we get conditioned as a very young, at the very young age. And you really want to make sure that kids keep their creativity, because that's what's going to make a difference. And even, Jack Ma, the Chinese billionaire, said that. He said, what's going to make the difference, because we have now all the machines and the science, what's going to make the difference are what we call those soft skills and the creativity in each one of us. That's what's going to make the difference in the future. So thanks for sharing that, Sandra.
You're very welcome.
Maristka, what legacy do you want to leave? I know you're already creating one, but is there something even more, is there more to that?
Well, just yesterday I told Ida, I used to be ashamed of my origin, an Afro-American Asian. But in the same sentence, I said, well, listen, I'm not ashamed anymore. I'm proud. I have a triple A stage.
Triple A?
Status. Yeah, triple A status.
Triple A status, I like that.
Well, I'm not proud. And I think if GimsGiy, with the ideas of Sandra, what GimsGiy is, with ideas of Ida, and all our future plans, if we can change the mindsetting of people so they are proud of themselves and they can be the best version of themselves, they can make it, then I think we have the world make a better place. If everybody's making themselves a better version and good and positive, then I think that life will be easier. Oops.
Okay, all right. So that's good. So a lot of good points, and a lot of inspiration, and really, a lot of stories, great stories that the listeners and the audience can take with them. And for me, when I listen to all of this, and when I see the stories where you all started with, all this hardship and all those challenges, and where you are and where you're going, it's really very encouraging. Because what's happening sometimes is that, people get stuck into their problem, they get stuck into their challenges, and they just give up. They just give up, and they stop looking for the light. And they forget that, they have to go inside and really, go deep to get, this positivity and this strength and everything that they have to go and continue the journey here, being very positive and looking at the light that's always in the tunnel, like Ida was saying. So it's been really inspiring to listen to that, because this show is about that. It's about encouraging people to take massive action, but to become, the best that they can be, and never actually give up, because they can be more. There's no limits. Whatever happened, they have to, they can fall. They have to always get back and continue to push, because that's the most important thing. As long as we breathe, we have something to bring on the table. And that's why my motto is don't leave anything on the table of life. As long as you are alive, put something on the table and get going. And that's really where I want to leave the audience here. I just want to ask you if there's something that you want to share in terms of any events or any things coming up as far as GimsGiy is concerned.
Yeah, I think in 2-3 weeks we will come with a corporate website, and you can find it on www.gimsgiy.com. There you can find all the agenda, what's going to happen. You find the whole team from GimsGiy and how you can participate. That's TV, so it's www.gimsgiy.com.
.com. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
really the TV channel, but we've got different departments
as well.
.com. So and that it will be online in 2-3 weeks. There you can find the whole agenda, everything what you need to know, you can find there.
Okay, all right. So thank you, ladies, for such an inspiring session. It's been really great. And I encourage the audience to connect with you so that they can, they can learn more about what you're doing. And for people who are in Facebook, there's a page that you can, you can like and get to interact with the team, the GimsGiy team. And you can also connect individually with Ida, Maristka, and Sandra. Reach out to me if you want more detail, and I can continue to connect you to them, because it's a community. This platform is there for you. Those three ladies are preparing everything for you. So don't let it to waste. It's really the platform where you want to have a voice, and the platform where you want to share your story and become a role model for somebody in the world. So thank you very much, and see you next week. So next week we're going to South Africa. We're gonna have a show on Monday with two very inspiring ladies again that call themselves the property magicians, and I hope you're gonna join us again and listen to those inspiring stories coming from South Africa. So thank you, and see you next week.
Thank you, Mira.